One Piece Season 4, the Alabasta arc, the Alabasta season. Finally, the culmination of the Straw Hat crew getting Vivi, Princess Vivi, from the beginning of the Grand Line to her home to take down the criminal organization known as the Rope Works and take on their leader, Mr. Zero, or as they also call him by, Crocodile. On this episode movie breakdown series review, I'm going to review season 4 of One Piece. What's up, world? Welcome to the episode movie breakdowns. I'm your host, Ali Zakka. What's up, world? Welcome to the episode of Movie Breakdowns. I'm your host, Ali Zakka. What's Movie Breakdowns? It's a movie review series. We're looking at new, old movies, TV shows, anime, wherever the case may be. Grade each individual season, each individual movie, and give it a compilation grade at the end of it all as well. We give the grade of 8 through F plus and minuses do count. And there's a series movie review. Let me know. Please put in the comment section below, and I can get to it as best I can. Also, Patreon/Ali Zakka for $2 a month. Your review request to cut in front of everybody. I get to it immediately because one, you're paying for my services, so I'm gonna go ahead and do it for you. Also, you get other reactions on there, like trade reaction, trade review, much more content on the Patreon. Now, let's go ahead and get into today's episode of season 4 of One Piece. And this season, which as I'm looking it up before I started the review, came out in 2002, which I didn't realize how. Well, I guess One Piece been around since the 90s, so I shouldn't be that surprised. But yeah, 2002 when this season came out, it is a total of 38 episodes. And this season also can be found on Netflix. And then after that, you have to watch the rest of it on Funimation or Hulu. But yeah, season 4, 38 episodes. I've watched it all. I thought about breaking it up in half on, 25, and then the remainder, but I was like, nah, screw it, it's only 38. Normally my cast base is 25 or 30 episodes, so I'm gonna go ahead and just finish on out 8 extra episodes, not gonna hurt. And really, what I said in the beginning of this opener is what it's about. It's about the culmination of the ending, the closing chapters of the Alabasta arc, of getting Vivi back to her homeland and her taking her country back from the evil Crocodile and the Baroque works. That's pretty much it, and freeing the country. Now, the country is not just conquered by Crocodile. Actually, it is going through a civil war between the kingdom and the rebel forces on Alabasta's plain. So the regular people of Alabasta have revolted against the king because there hasn't been rain in 3 years in Alabasta, and the country's dying. People are hungry, people want water, they're thirsty, and they're blaming the king for their problems, and they're pretty much taking their frustration out on the king, and they're trying to revolt because the king doesn't seem like he's doing everything he can in his power to help the people out. In reality, the king is trying his best. But there's a reason why Crocodile, who is a sand devil fruit user, is pretty much blocking the rain from coming in. He is legit protecting the rain from coming down and causing the strife within the country because he wants to take over the country. Now, why is Crocodile there? Crocodile is looking for this dangerous weapon called Pluton, and he believes that there's an ancient text in Alabasta that has the truth to Pluton, and he can get his hands on it. He can not only conquer the country, but conquer the world, and that's what Crocodile's after. Now, who is Crocodile? Crocodile's the 7 warlords of the sea. He's one of the 7 legit warlords of the sea who are people that the government gives power to. They're pirates that government give their power to. If they decide to work with the government and do the government's dirty work, these pirates can do whatever they want and the government would not touch them. And so that's how Crocodile has been using Baroque works and been sitting in Alabasta, pretty much biding his time to wait for the country to finally crack so he could take over. And the breaking point and the tipping point is right now. It's happening right now, right as Vivi's coming back. And Vivi is trying her hardest to stop this guy, stop him from doing it. But Crocodile's like, yeah, it's taking a little long. Let's try to push my hand a little bit. So he has one of his agents named Mr. 2, Bon Clay, pretend to be the king and gotta start the revolt up and the war and really kicks the ground going so Crocodile can get rid of both sides and claim himself as the ruler of Alabasta. It is a really good season. It's done really well from start A to be, or from beginning to end. Like, the first episodes, you meet Bond Clay, number 2, and he is a face shopper. He can swap his face with anybody. The clone flute. He can make his face, and not just his face, his body into any character he see. All he do is touch your face, and next thing you know, boom, he can make your face look like Luffy. Boom, he make your face look like Sanji. Boom, like he can do whatever he wants. Or Sanji, I should say, is not the one he actually sees. And because it's continuation from season 1 and 2, season 2 and 3, the only person that the Baroque works don't know about is Sanji. Everybody else, they have an idea on it. Thanks to Bond Clay, he was able to get intel on all the Straw Hats for one person, because Sanji just happened to go cooking as Bond Clay decides to drop in on the Straw Hats crew, or I guess fell on the Straw Hat crew. Pretty much, they fish him out of the water. They pull him up. And Mr. 2 was there. But Mr. 2 ended up being a good guy. He just working for Baroque Works. And Baroque Works is trying to do their bidding. And if you go against Baroque Works, Crocodile will take you out. It's a very great season. Like I said from the beginning with Mr. 2. And then you meet Luffy's older brother Ace and Smoker go at it, and a pretty cool scene. And then Ace is actually hanging around, which is different from the manga. In the manga, Ace doesn't hang around. Once Ace realized that Blackbeard is not in town and Luffy doesn't want to join the Whitebeard Pirates, he's like, alright, well, I'm gonna go find Blackbeard, thank you so much. But in the anime, they actually drag it out a little longer, where Ace is around for a good 6 to 7 episodes after you first see him, and he's hanging out because he wants to find the guy who said he beat Blackbeard. In reality, the dude never beat Blackbeard. He was just trying to make a story for himself, make a name for himself off of Ace's back, thanks to show his kids that he can do whatever he wants. And to add to that, the filler episodes in this season, because they're in the middle, legit middle of this season, when after you meet Ace and they start traveling to Alabasta, I believe. When they try traveling to Alabama, I believe, Yerba, I believe the name of it. It's a city that is a oasis for drinking water, but it hasn't had water there in forever. But they're going to Yuba. They're going to Yuba through the desert. They don't have the ducks to get them through, so they're walking through the desert. And Ace is with them to meet this dude who said he beat Blackbeard. But a lot of the desert episodes are filler, but there's scenes where it's not filler, where there is Luffy, Sanji, and Zoro are fighting a giant snake monster, and it's a pretty cool scene where they all break out their big moves, and then Ace has this moment of shine as well. So even though Ace is in the background, they've written him in a way where he's still useful to the story. He's just not there. He's actually doing stuff. I like that. I like filler. It's filler done right, where it gave you a little more for a character you really don't get to see as much, but he's such a cool character to the series. Ace is a cool character, and you don't get much experience with him, so I like the fact that anime gave you a little more time to grow with Ace. So when the future comes, he's a little more attached to you, and that's why a lot more people like Ace, because in the anime they actually give him a little more room to shine. He's actually kind of like Luffy's older and more responsible brother. And he appreciates the crew for taking care of Luffy. He is great. And also to add to a lot more of the filler episodes, they have stuff that legit is filler, but like for example, you get a scene with a poneglyph that is like in the middle of the desert that at this point in time the crew don't even know what poneglyphs are. Matter of fact, it's not introduced in the manga yet, but the show introduced it early, and the crew's like, well, these are hidden writing here, kind of curious what this is, but you don't really get to know about it. And it, you know, that scene wasn't canon. It was Zoro, Luffy, and Chopper who see this poneglyph. You know, that scene wasn't canon. It is kind of interesting to know, like in the world of One Piece, that these poneglyphs, there's a bunch of them, or a handful of them throughout the world, and not all of them have, what's the word I'm looking for, important documents on it, or a lot of like important stuff. That the one that Crocodile wanted had the Pluton information on it. It was like, okay, this is world devastating. not all of it has world like importance, so it just kind of like note takings when they left behind from ancestors. So I guess you can play it off, but when you see that in the show, you're like, that's too early to be there watching it back. But other than that, like, it's a good episode as well, because you also get Zoro and Chopper talking about like how the crew came together, and Zoro's like, yeah, we mostly a bunch of have our own goals and dreams, but we all decided to kind of jump with Luffy here and ride with Luffy, but really we're all kind of on our own little missions. So I do like that. I do like how Zoro and Chopper had a little heart to heart there in this filler episode. But once you get past that and you get to the episode where Luffy versus Vivi, after they go from Yuba to try to get to another place, because Vivi is trying to find the rebel army. She believes if she can stop the rebel army from going to the kingdom, she can stop the war. But by this point, the rebel army has moved because Yuba's not really a good place to stay in right now, because they keep getting hit by sandstorms, who Crocodile's behind. Vivi is like, all right, we need to go travel across and try to get to the rebel army. And Luffy's like, nah, we ain't doing that. We're changing our tone here. We're going somewhere else. We're about to go this way instead of that way. And Vivi's like, why? And they go at each other. And Luffy's like, all right, Vivi. They have a little dispute. And Vivi can see that Luffy was just trying to help her out and realize like, hey, we're down to help, but we're not going to go that route. We're going to take out Crocodile. And from there, this season takes off. Like, they go to Crocodile's headquarters and he plays a game on them. He gets them caught in a trap situation. Luffy versus Crocodile round 1 happens and Luffy gets handled, like, badly. And from there, which this always threw me off. I can't figure out why, but Nico Robin's in this season and she's Miss All Sunday. She's the second hand man to Mr. Crocodile. She rescues Luffy out of this sand pit and kind of asks him a question like, why did you do this? And Luffy's like, well, I got a friend to protect. And she's like, huh. And kind of just leave it at that. Like, she doesn't let him die, but she just leaves him stranded, and then tells Pell like, hey, you might want to take care of this guy. Which Nico Robin kind of shows like she's not really trying to be a bad guy, but she's also like, she's like a simmer of like a good heart to her in this season, which you're like, okay. But at the same time, she's working with Crocodile. And she explains why she works with Crocodile, but at the same time, you're like, okay. So that always threw me off that Nico Robin saves Luffy. And when Luffy comes back to fight Crocodile a second time, she's kind of like, oh, you're still around. Like, yeah, you rescued him. And you didn't tell Crocodile any of it. Okay, sure, fine. Going with it, whatever. It's a nitpick of mine, so other people wouldn't care. Another great thing about this season, though, that I really like, was that each character of the Straw Hat crew had their moment of shine. They got to fight kind of like in a roundabout way, because Oda didn't just write where the characters bumped into this person, oh, I'll fight this person, next person, I'll fight this person, next person, I'll fight. No, it was like a roundabout way where all the pieces kind of fit together nicely. Like, Sanji did not fight Mr. Two Bar and Clay first. He actually stopped with Miss Groundhog Day and Mr. Four, and then kind of went off to help Usopp when he heard that one of the Duck Squadron guys came over to protect Usopp. Eric came over to not protect Usopp, but let Sanji know that Usopp was in danger. So Sanji goes off and fight Mr. Two, but Usopp kind of makes up with Chopper and help Chopper fight Miss Groundhog Day and Mr. Four. But each person gets their own episode, if not multiple episodes of them fighting out. Nami is fighting Miss, what is her name? Not Miss New Year's Eve, Miss Doublefinger. So Nami has to fight Miss Doublefinger, and Miss Doublefinger is literally taking her time with Nami, but Nami had to use the climate baton and find a way to overcome Miss Doublefinger and use her wits and smarts about her, and also use the same time reading how the baton works and reading how to do the baton and do the things that you need to do to overcome. And it's about the episode lasts about this fight lasts about 3 episodes, but it works so well. It's done so well. And matter of fact, all the fights are done really well. Zoro versus Mr. One is probably one of my favorite fights because Zoro has to learn how to cut steel. Mr. One's ate the dice like fruit, so he is all steel, and Zoro has to learn how to cut steel to overcome Mr. One. It's a battle of overcoming challenges, and it is a great storyline for not just Zoro, but like Nami has to overcome challenges. Chopper and Usopp had to overcome a challenge. You can say Sanji has to, but not really, because Sanji never really, like him versus Mr. Two, there was like even match. It was just who with the last punch, and Mr. Two was using Nami's body as a way to distract Sanji, but Mr. Two can't use his moves while in Nami's body. He has to turn back to himself. So Sanji figured that out, and from there it was just those two going back and forth. But Sanji never really had I felt like struggled besides the whole like, oh my gosh, I can't hit a girl part of it. But like Zoro almost died, Usopp just got destroyed, and Nami very much almost didn't come out alive either. So like they all had to overcome their challenges to win this fight, and Oda does a great way of pushing them to the forefront by taking Luffy out, and then Luffy comes back in to take on Crocodile a second time, still loses, but Crocodile gets more exposition and reveals himself to the rebel army, that because at this point Crocodile feels like he's not gonna lose, like he's high and mighty, and Luffy is it's just a little runt startup pirate who can't do jack squat. So Crocodile's feel high and mighty about himself, and he's like, I already got this in the bag. He's celebrating for the match is already over pretty much, and he reveals his plan to Koza, reveals his plan to King of Alabasta, Nefertari, I believe his name was. He reveals everything to him about how he put the two against each other, how he's the mastermind behind all this, and he's just been waiting for the two sides to come at each other so he can blow up everybody. And Vivi is like trying to stop this all, and you can see the stress and frustration Vivi trying to stop this, and no matter what she does, he keeps going sideways, and Luffy is there to come back and say, hey Vivi, don't give up. He's a reminder for Vivi not to give up. Like he even rescued her at one point, like the damsel in distress. And then Luffy versus Crocodile the third time, because the second time Luffy lose, and then the third time Luffy fights Crocodile underneath a cave, or I guess not in a cave, but in a temple. And Luffy uses his blood to beat Crocodile, because liquid, anything that touches Crocodile's body that's liquid, it hardens his body so he can actually hit Crocodile. So he can't turn to sand, and Luffy ended up overcoming Crocodile, which I'm noticing a lot of fights, reading One Piece and watching One Piece, Luffy just had to dig down deep. It's his determination that comes out over the top in the end. That's how he pulls it out. And this is probably the first time in the anime where you see Luffy lose, really. He loses twice to Crocodile, and he knows he loses, but he still believes that I can beat Crocodile, and I won't quit because I have goals and dreams, and I want to protect my friend, and she has goals and dreams, and I want to make sure she's okay. So Luffy pretty much wins on pure determination, which is fine. I like that. It's really well done, really well. Anything else I want to talk about before I talk about the characters in this season? No, like, it's literally season 4 is Act 1, Act 2, Act 3. Literally in a nutshell. Act 1 is the introduction to Alabasta, seeing what the country is like, seeing what the world is like, seeing how people are going through stuff. They do play like within like the 5th or 4th episode a theme song of a character who doesn't show up for like another 200 episodes. I caught that and I was like, oh, they actually played that song. Interesting. But like the first act is literally just showing what the world is like, showing what the country is like, seeing how the war has ravaged both lands, and see how not having rain for so long has ravaged the country. Then Act 2 is Crocodile revealing Straw Hats like, hey, this is the plan. I'm ready to set everything off in motion. Y'all can't stop me. And then Act 3 is the Straw Hats versus Baroque Works, and each character has their moment against other characters, and then comes down to the final conclusion of Luffy beating Crocodile, Vivi whether or not she's going to join the Straw Hat crew, which is something that I wish would have happened. I get why it can't happen, but I really wish Vivi would have stayed a part of the crew. But if you had Vivi join the crew, what could she really do? Like, she's a princess. She's only 16. At the time, like, most of the Straw Hats, like, 18, 17. They're young. So she will fit right in the group. But, like, Vivi being with them when they're going to places, and if you've seen One Piece, you know where it goes to, you're like, yeah, I don't know how much Vivi will be able to be an asset to the team. Like, she's just the princess. Yeah, there's not much there. But I do wish Vivi, personally, I wish Vivi would have stayed along with the crew, and maybe there's a different universe of One Piece where Vivi does join the crew. I'm curious to see how that plays out. But yeah, Vivi doesn't join the crew. She actually stays, and then Nico Robin actually joins the crew at the end of it all when Luffy saved her and King Cobra Nefertari. Vivi's last name Nefertari, the last name. But King Cobra, he saves King Cobra, get them out of the tomb that's crashing, and Nico Robin's like, well, I have a place to go. Luffy, you saved me because I'm about to quit and give up on life, and you saved me and gave me another reason to live, so I'm going to ride with you until we figure this out. And Luffy's like, okay, sure. Which I'm still kind of butthurt about that, though, because I'm like, Luffy's like, she's not a bad person. Like, she actually knew that Pluton and the most dangerous weapons in the world on that poneglyph, but she didn't give that information to Crocodile. She just says the history of Alabasta because she's from a people who can read the poneglyphs. It's a rare group of people who can read it, and Nico Robin is one of them. So she decided to join the crew, which majority of the crew kind of like already trusts her, and Zoro's the one who's like, yeah, I don't trust her. Not at all. But let's go and get into characters. So Luffy in this season, it's probably the first season besides season 1 where he actually does lose, and he loses a lot. And like, he loses twice to Crocodile in this season, and he really learns pretty much not to give up and like trust your friends. Like, as far as like character growth, he doesn't really change. He's still the same person he was in season 1, except for season 2. Like, he knows season 3, I should say, he learned to like when to bow or not just using his fists all the time thanks to Vivi. But in this season, he's usually like, hey, let's get this done, let's get this over, let's fight Crocodile. And he does use his wits when he realizes that, oh, water can hurt you, so I'm gonna carry water with me and I'm gonna beat you that way versus just trying to go in and swinging. So I do give Luffy props for that, but for the most part, he's still goofy, still entertainment part of it for most of the part, and then when time to fight Crocodile, he's like all in. Like, he's like, all right, let's do this. That's what I came here to do. If it wasn't about to beat you, it's all over. Vivi be happy. Like, he really stands up for his friends in this season. Then you got Zoro. Zoro in this season, for the most part, he's the same way. He's the same character from all those seasons. He's like, hey, we trust Luffy. We need to go ahead and follow the mission through. Luffy will join us until he fights Mr. One, where he had to learn how to not be a swordsman that just cuts anything but cuts what he wants to cut, and learn how to sense and use his presence of like sensing everything and sensing that, oh, the rocks are breathing and everything has life and energy in it, and that's how he is able to beat Mr. One. So he does have a moment where he had to learn to dig deep and listen to his surroundings more, to inner focus versus just cut. So Zoro had a little moment there. We had a little bit of an arc. Sanji is probably the one who saved the crew a lot in this season. Like, cause this is the one dude that Baroque didn't know about. So when Baroque captures the Straw Hat crew, Sanji was able to free them. Sanji was able to fight Mr. 2 because Mr. 2 didn't know who he was. Like, he was the one character who, like, one of the big 3 in the Straw Hat crew. He's one of the strongest characters, and he comes in clutch a lot of times for the Straw Hat crew. But as far as growth or anything, Sanji is still the same lover boy. Like, he is just the same character he was in season 2 and 3. He doesn't really have any character development yet, but as far as like him being a guy that can rely on, yes, he is definitely a character for the Straw Hat crew to rely on. But you can see that in season 2 and season 3. like, well, season 3 as much. He's not really he's there in season 2, but he doesn't really have any fighting points. In season 3, he was injured. So yeah, season 4, I guess this is his big moment to shine since season 1. And yeah, he shows that he's one of the strongest characters in the Straw Hat crew. Nami does have growth in this one. Like, besides her being great friends with Vivi and her seeing the world and like, okay, we want to help out Vivi and take out Crocodile as well, but she also has the ability to fight, and this is her first real fight of her not running away and actually standing her ground and fighting a villain who can just run over her. Like, and she uses her wits and smarts about her to beat Miss Doublefinger. So Nami actually has a moment where she has to dig deep and build and believe on herself, because she doesn't want to be a weak link to the crew, and she says that. So she actually has a moment to shine in this and have a moment of growth. You have Usopp. Usopp is still the same scaredy cat, but at the same time, he's also willing to step up and fight as well, and he's willing to use his smarts and cunnings to beat other characters. Like, he took out Mr. One, Miss Merry Christmas Day. So like Usopp is also another character who has his moment to shine this season, and him using his strengths and using what he does best and teaming up with Chopper to take out another villain. So Usopp was great in this season. Tony Chopper, he is a crew doctor, and he's still getting acquainted with the crew in this season. He's learning about the crew. Like, he knows that Nami wears a certain perfume, so he can able to track her down. He talks to Zoro about how the crew comes together, but for the most part, he's really learning what the Straw Hat crew about and learning, okay, this is my captain, this is my team, and I can really trust them here in this season. So Chopper's trust in the Straw Hats really grows in this season as he's watching them move and watching them go through life and seeing what they're about. And there's a scene where Miss Merry Christmas and Mr. Four was like dogging out Luffy, and like, Luffy died to Crocodile, and they're not gonna be able to beat him, and this and this and this. And Usopp's like, no, Luffy would never leave. Luffy would never lose. And Chopper's like, how can you say that, Usopp? How can you be so sure? And Usopp's like, he's our captain. He's gonna be the king of the pirates. And when Luffy does show up, Chopper's like, oh my gosh, it's really real. He doesn't lose. Usopp was right. So Chopper really learns and kind of grows the Straw Hat crew in this season, and you can see him grow, and it's kind of cool seeing the crew from Chopper's eyes and seeing him actually believing in Luffy just like Usopp and the rest of the crew does. So yeah, good props to that. And he also has a cool fight with Usopp against Mr. Four and Miss Merry Christmas. Then we're gonna throw in Vivi. So Vivi really this season learns that she can trust her friend, trying to do everything herself. This was her big growth. So this is her arc and her trying to save her country, but she's been trying to do everything on her own for so much that Luffy and them was like, no, we're not doing this your way anymore. You're gonna trust us. We're gonna take out Crocodile and we're gonna put a stop to this. And Vivi really has to learn to trust in her friends and believe that I can't do it by myself, but my friends can do it, and we can get through this together. And that's what her whole thing this season was, trusting in other, believing in other, no matter what how bad the situation get, believe in her friends because they can overcome it. And that's what happens. Her friends, the Straw Hat crew, was able to help her defeat Crocodile, but that was her story. And at the end of it all, they do beat Crocodile and they do take him out. And Vivi was like, wow, I can rest now. I can relax. I can sleep. Yeah. Vivi is a solid character, and I really wish we got more. Like, I really wish we could have kept her around. Like, she is somebody who cares, compassionate, like strong-headed, willing, like a perfect part of the Straw Hat crew. And when the crew leaves her behind because she's gonna be a princess, really wish we'd have got more out of that. But it's fine, and I think Vivi, this was a great way to end Vivi's storyline as well, of her bringing her country back to normalcy and defeating Crocodile. And Crocodile is, like I said, 7 Warlords of the Sea. He is the big bad in this season. He is pretty much cutthroat. There's not anything redeeming about Crocodile that you can get behind. The dude is a horrible guy, just pure bad dude. And he's his character design and everything about him is great and very and a great antagonist for the Straw Hat crew and Vivi, and just pretty much the worst of the worst, the worst of the worst. And I think he was a great foe for the a great antagonist. I don't know what to say. A great antagonist for the Straw Hat crew and Vivi. Like, he was good. He was like imposing, threatening, beat Luffy twice, and you always want to know like how Luffy's gonna overcome this. Like, I still watching like, man, how will Luffy overcome Crocodile? Like, what he gonna do to beat Crocodile? But when it comes to just a pure fist fight, Crocodile can't beat Luffy. Luffy can destroy Crocodile, and that's what he actually comes down to at the end of it all. Because Crocodile does have a bunch of tricks up his sleeve, or of his hook, I should say. But yeah, Crocodile's a bad dude, just menacing, horrible character, and I like his design. Alright, other characters I want to talk about here. Let's start off with Smoker. So Smoker, he been chasing Luffy this whole time, and he has a funny moment with Luffy at the shop at the beginning of season 4, and then Smoker and Ace go at each other, and then Smoker gets captured with Luffy. And when Crocodile reveals everything to him, and Smoker said Luffy actually want to kick Crocodile's butt and not teaming up with Crocodile, he's like, okay. So he's watching everything play out. And then when the crew finally gets away from Crocodile and they get saved by Sanji, they also save Smoker, who couldn't swim. And Zoro pretty much tells Smoker, hey, only reason I saved you because Luffy, my captain, wanted you alive. And Luffy's like, yeah, we're not bad dudes. So Smoker's kind of like, yeah, Straw Hat Crew is not bad people. Let's watch how this play out. And he put Tashigi in charge of the whole operation and have her see everything through the eyes of what's going on too. And Smoker's kind of like, the Straw Hat's not bad pirates. They're actually good people. And they just saved this whole country, something our world government couldn't do. And he has to really work with that. And at the end of this season, Luffy and Zoro bounty goes up. Zoro gets a bounty of 60 million berries, and Luffy gives a 100 million berry bounty. And Captain Smoker and Tashigi gets ranked up. They get their ranks boosted for what happened, and they try to put everything on Smoker that he actually brought down Crocodile. And Smoker's like, no, it was the Straw Hat Pirates. The Straw Hat Pirates did this. They took down Crocodile. It wasn't us. And I just like how Smoker, who's one of my favorite characters as well, I just like how he kind of watched everything plays out. And I wish he was in the final fight with Luffy, but it's cool. I think he probably been too OP to be there, so we just write him out by having him not do anything. But I think that's perfectly fine, because you have to get Luffy versus Crocodile round 3. That really does, you know, take everything going forward. And then if the government got involved of this civil war that was going on, it wouldn't look good for the government to start come in and conquer a beef between two countries, and between the country and itself. So that's why Smoker kind of stayed out of it, because that wouldn't be a good look. But at the same time, I kind of wish he would have stayed around a little more. It would be kind of cool. Nico Robin, who is Miss All Sunday, she is integral. She is there. She's not a side character, but as far as like, she's more of a just the right hand man of Crocodile, but she's doing something about what Crocodile wants her to do. And when they find Pluton and she can read it, and she's explaining like, no, this is not what you're looking for, Crocodile. And Crocodile would like get rid of her because she's no longer of use. She try to fight Crocodile, but really she's here to be like, to move pieces along in the storyline. Like, you don't really know much about her besides her being the second-hand man of Baroque Works, and she also betrays Crocodile. Like, you'd also learn what her goal in life is. Her goal is to find the history, the world history, and there's a poneglyph that has all that, and that's her goal, to find that. Like, she's an archaeologist, and she wants to know more about the world, and she got a bounty of 79 million on her head because of the events that happened when she was younger. But we don't know those events yet. We just know that there's a bounty on her head, and she's one of the most dangerous people alive. And she's been staying with Crocodile as a way to survive and help him find Pluton. But for the most part, she's there. She moves up. I would say this, if she wasn't there, some things couldn't happen. For example, Luffy wouldn't get out to fight Crocodile a second time. But she's important, but she's not like the focal point of this season. Put it that way. She's not the main point, but she is important. Ace, I love Ace. He's one of my favorite characters as well. He's a fire, he ate the flame fruit. So he's a fire, kind of like a firebender in the sense he uses fire powers, and he helps Luffy out in the beginning of season 4 and then hangs around in the anime. But he's just a cool dude. He's a cool dude, good older brother Luffy, kind of more mild-mannered, laid back, versus Luffy who's like high strung or super going. But yeah, I like Ace. Any other characters? I talk about Koza and King Cobra, but they just really the rebel. Koza the rebel leader and King Cobra's the king of Alabasta. That's about it there. Anything else? No, I think I've really explained everything I want to talk about. This is a great season, man. I don't know what else to say about season 4. I kind of laid everything out. This is like my thoughts and review of it. It is phenomenal. I think the artwork is still good. It's still solid. The music is great. The music really hits still in certain scenes. Like when Luffy does Gong Desert Storm or Desert Gatling, and it's, Gatling or Storm, Gong Storm, I believe what he did at the end, and he punching Crocodile through the bedrock and tosses up in the sky. I think it's a very, very great and amazing scene. Vivi crying a lot and bringing emotions of her trying to stop the fighting and just really breaking down. I think the emotions is there. Like, this is such a great season. It is top tier. And then, ended off with Pale, who's one of Vivi's protectors. He sees his grave. So there's a scene where Pale's a character that is also another devil fruit user, and he takes this bomb, because Crocodile shot blow up everything, take this bomb to the sky, and presumably he's dead, but in One Piece, death is a rarity. And he comes back, and at the end of season 4, he sees his grave, he's like, this is my grave, and it cuts to be continued. I was like, what the heck? It just ends like that? Wait, pause. Also, season 4, in the Funimation version, there's 3 episodes that ended up being the last piece of season 4. But in the 4Kids version, they cut a couple of episodes, put a little soundtrack in there, some really show tune thing, and then finally go back to Vivi, and that's it, and the Straw Hat Crew escaping. But I didn't remember seeing Pale's grave and the cell cutting off like that, but it really ends on Pale looking at his grave in season 4, and I can imagine just watching this weekly and that's the end of season 4, and you're like, what? When season 5 comes out? Hold on, what? They just end like that? It's a shocking ending to season 4 that really had me wait a minute, when does Vivi meet Pale again? Hold on, when does this happen? And for the most part, I haven't watched season 5 yet, but for the most part, I don't think you see that again for a very, 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 very long time. Ridiculously long. Good Lord. But yeah, this is a fun season. It's a great season. I know I'm raving about it. This video is probably an hour long now, but it's a great season. I enjoyed it. Is season 4 a season you should binge? I don't think it's binge worthy, because the filler episodes really take a while to get through. But then once you get to the fillers episodes and you start watching the fights play out and see the characters going against each other, it's when it really gets going. We see the Straw Hat Crew versus Baroque Works. That's when it really gets going. But other than that, it's a little bit slower. The first half, the first act, a little bit of a slow act, and then the second act kind of and third act is strong. So yeah, it's not a binge worthy season, but it's definitely worth the watch. And grade time, I'm going to grade One Piece season 4, the Alabasta arc, a solid A. This gives an A for me. I think Act 1, Act 2, and Act 3 are done really, really well. Some people's opinion that the filler episodes could be dry, but my to be honest, the filler episodes really add more to the world of Alabasta, and you get to see how everything plays out. And they actually bring some of those filler characters back in the last couple episodes of season 4 to make you feel like this world is much bigger than what it is. It's not just one and done. These characters show back up again. So I do appreciate that when it comes to fillers, so that way you do get a sense of like, oh, you know, this is a filler episode. It's not just filler. They actually plays into the world around it. Yes, it might drag out a little longer, but you actually get to see the dynamic of Alabasta and how the war has affected people and what's going on. And also the rain comes back at the end of season 4 too. When they defeat Crocodile and the cloud goes away, the rain comes back and the fighting stops. And then people realize that, oh, Crocodile is the reason why this is all happening, when they get told the truth of everything, not King Cobra, but Crocodile was causing this. Like, it's some good stuff, man. Season 4 is phenomenal. I think the fights between the Straw Hat crew and the Baroque Works and them overcoming their challenges and overcoming the struggles and their weaknesses was really, really done well. And the fact that each character had their moments to shine. Also, Vivi seeing this war play out and trying to stop the war and doing whatever she can and struggling and relying on her friends to overcome this was great. And then the emotion of saying goodbye to Vivi and the crew saying goodbye to her, but they can't say goodbye to her, so they use the markers they put on themselves as a style of goodbye. And this won't be the last time. And Vivi staying home and versus going with the Straw Hat crew, I thought was great. Like, it was a great send off to a character, and it's a solid episode, solid season, man. I find me a better season. Find it. I'll wait. And there's a few others out there, but if I find a better season of just like a culmination. And really, to be fair, because of season 2 and 3, that adds up to this point that makes it really just So yeah, season 4 is an A for me. If you've seen One Piece season 4, what do you think? Please put in the comment section below. Other than that, see you guys next episode when we break down series review, and keep being awesome. Thank you so much for making it to the end of this video. I really appreciate that. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. If there's a review you want me to watch or do, let me know. Please put it in the comment section below this video. Also, you want to watch the last episode movie breakdowns, it's right there. Just gotta click on it and you'll be able to watch it. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. Love y'all, and keep being awesome.